Speaking of shitty human beings, how do we think Donald Trump's going to do in this election? Because it looks like he's going to lose by a lot.
Did you just take my job?
I got incentivized. What can I say?
Who's paying you? Who's paying you? Who's in your pocket?
Right, right.
I think we talked about that earlier. With no, never mind. This is
Emily. What's your take? How bad is he going to lose?
For the longest time, I've just been preparing myself for him to win. I'm like, he's going to win. This is just, he's destroyed it, and it doesn't actually kind of matter if he loses, because the rate of destruction that he has left, he's dismantled so much stuff that's never going to come back, because once you get rid of something, it doesn't come back. And so, yeah. But recently I've been hearing this buzz that he's not going to win. And I'm just like, I just don't believe it. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I get it. People are scared because it's actually scary. Like, it's almost exactly the same situation as with Hillary Clinton, where he was up almost she was up by almost the exact margin that Biden was up this time last year before the election. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's different now, because I really do think that people now, they know that Trump is incompetent, and I think that he's got his base, but all the moderates are like, this guy is nuts. He's now saying he's like like he's immune to COVID. You can't be immune if you've had it.
Right.
Yeah, I think though, in his favor, if I can loosely use that term, the shenanigans that they've been working around the election, some of it's coming back to bite them. Apparently, the post office has been forced to go back to return to old standards. But, you know, someone was just caught putting up false pre-election voting boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's and there's been a history of this throughout the Republic of ensuring certain voices, only certain voices are heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so obvious that it didn't need to be said.
Just I'm spelling it out just in case we don't have smart viewers.
But like the goal is not for people to vote. Their goal is for people not to vote.
Right.
And I just think that's so funny when I realize that, because it's all, you know, we hear so much, but this is a democracy, but their goal is no voting.
So I don't understand this argument. I don't understand this argument. And I've heard it a lot in the left-wing media, and I'm trying to understand it, right? So if people are sort of voting at, because this is what polling is, right? It's percentages. So presumably people are not going to vote at the same percentages unless we're like isolating, you know, I don't know, swing states or particular territories. But if you just reduce the aggregate, so the total number of people voting, it's still the same percentage. So I don't understand this argument.
What argument was that? Sorry,
The argument is that
the outcome would
people are encouraging people to vote less, because then that means Donald Trump is more likely to win.
Yes.
But I don't see how that makes sense unless you're only disincentivizing people from voting in swing states, which will affect the outcome.
But that's exactly what they're doing. They're making it very difficult for the underprivileged, the marginalized, the marginalized people, the disenfranchised people. That's what gerrymandering is. It's making it difficult. It's taking the number of polling stations from 12 to 1. Like, that is a physical manifestation of, we are trying to prevent the vote. They have said it time and time again. Like Donald Trump says it in his speeches. And if you listen to enough Republicans, they all kind of say the same thing. If you want to see the end of the Republican Party, you have got to stop people from voting, because time and time again, when they do polls, they always say like, oh, America is a tough country and conservative and stuff like that. When you do kind of a cross-country poll, kind of across the entire nation, they're actually very supportive of progressive ideas and themes. What happens is that they get the rhetoric engine kind of ramping right up. They get the exclusionary tactics of being able to actually gerrymander and get these people out of the picture so they can't vote, or make them feel like, who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter.
If that's isolated, if you're isolating it to swing states that affect the electoral college, then I understand, because that's exactly what Bush was doing, right? He basically tried to stop black people from voting. He made it very, very, very difficult because he knew that they were all against him, which they rightly were against him because he was against them.
Funny that about black people. Fuck, I'm outnumbered today.
But I do think that this is a strategy that they employ, right? Like, it's really sick. And, we've talked about this many times on this podcast, but you have 76.3% of the US identifying as white. It's about 247 million. You have like about 13% of the US population is black. It's about 42 million. So it just seems like if you want the white vote and make them scared of black people, you're going to win 100% of the time if you're effective at vilifying, the black community and creating this xenophobia about them.